Okay, I do want to talk the nuts and bolts. I want to talk about a passion that you guys have, something you started that I think is fantastic, and that's this non-for-profit you began in 2022, right? The Next Generation of Tradesmen Foundation, NGTF, if I have that correct.
Right.
What made you take this big thing on? I mean, to start a foundation is not easy when you've got a business you're running, a family. So talk about the genesis of that, if you would.
I will start by saying everything that we do is driven by our faith. We believe that what we have is a blessing, and we don't do any of it under our own strength, and it's all a blessing. So we give honor to the Creator who has given us what we have, and it literally started at our church. I had two young men who were finishing up high school. They were in the second semester, so graduation was maybe a month or two away. And they had no clue what they were going to do. And they just randomly walked up to me and said, "Hey, Brian, what is it that you do for a living?" And I didn't say I own an air conditioning business. I say, I do AC. I do heating and air conditioning, just so nonchalantly, because this is what I did, but I was running the company. And they was like, "Okay, well, tell me more about that." And I was like, it'd be easier if you came and did a ride along. So I had them do a ride along, and they was like, "Yeah, you know what? I think I want to do that." I was like, "Really? You want to do what I can do?" These are two young men who are, they're involved in our church. They got mom and dad at home. They're getting good grades. The last thing I think that they want to do is air conditioning. But they're like, right. Hey, they had no other plans. They didn't want to go to college, and they just had no clue. So it's like they wanted to do it, and it's like, well, how do I get involved? So I took them over to the local community college. I got them enrolled in school. They completed school. Both of the guys came and worked for me. And so me and Janal, being involved in our church, we were actually involved in our youth ministry. And, we just kept hearing the stories of, I'm about to graduate, but I don't want to go to college, or I'm about to go to college, but I don't want to go to college. And I'm afraid, and I don't know what I want to do. Am I wasting my money? Am I wasting my time? And then I looked at these two young men who just randomly asked me, "Hey, what do you do?" And now they're in a field that they enjoy and love. I said, hold on, there's something going on here, and we can do something about it. And that was the genesis of us starting that nonprofit, NGT, the Next Generation of Tradesmen. Yeah. And so what we do is we go into high schools and we target specifically the undecided, those who are in their junior and senior year who don't know quite what they want to do, or they know that they don't want to go to college, they don't want to go to the military, but yet they want a career that's rewarding, and they want to be of service to their community, because we do more than fix equipment. We service customers, we service our community, we service our friends and family. So that's what kind of led to NGTF, and it's been a blessing. Since those two young men, we've sent multiple students to the trade schools now.
Yeah, it's really been cool. To Brian's point, after those two students, we start asking more and more questions. It was literally right after COVID kind of let the kids go back to school. And we were noticing as we're talking to them, one, they didn't have plans after high school. With the students that we were having the opportunity to talk to, they were expressing more and more of their fear of the future. It felt like, man, I'm getting out of school and I don't feel like I have options, or I don't want to go to college, or I want to go to college, but I don't know what I want to do if I go to college. There was so many questions that these students have, and I feel like our educators are doing a great job. They're doing the best they can. Yeah. They truly are. We're really, really grateful for the educators and the ones that are directing these students. I think there's just this lack of information when it comes to the trades. They didn't know where to start. So we're meeting these. Once we decided, okay, maybe we can see where we can help, we started going into schools and talking to the principals and vice principals, career counselors, and their response was, we just don't really know where to start when it comes to, inserting these students into trades. And so even if we do have, like, Dallas College is doing a great job, and DISD also, they're creating a great pathway for students, but the students aren't necessarily motivated to go. Right. So the program exists, but they don't want to try it out, or they don't have enough information. And so Brian and I were like, man, a nonprofit sounds like something you do in your 60s. Just being honest,
well,
like
I didn't get the time to even do it.
yeah, like not in the thick of we're growing our business, and like you said, we're a young married couple, so we're involved in other things, and we have a young child at home, and yeah, there's just so many things, and so it felt like this is something we do later, but we just kept having that, but now is the time. Like there's such a need now, so why can't we do something now? So it's just, we went ahead and decided to start.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you work with the administrators at the high school, right? And you say, hey, this is what we can do. This is what the trades can do for people. Let me talk to them, right? So what class? You just go to certain classes, or how does that actually work? Homeroom class?
Yeah, actually, they create a space for us. So when we come in, we get to have their lunch hour. And the career counselor kind of invites the certain students, like Brian said, the students are polled. Usually as upperclassmen, they want to know, what are your plans after? Are you going to what college, or what after continuing education are you choosing? And the ones that are saying, I don't know, they're the ones that are invited to our information session. So we have an information session during their lunch hour, and we visit them probably 8 times in a school year. Yeah. And we also provide field trips within those visits. So we will take them to a trade school, and they get to see in person, this is what trade school looks like. This is how you get enrolled. So we provide the college tours or the trade school tours and the information session.
And then so it's a 10 touch points per school year. 8 of those touch points are presentations in the classrooms, Q&As, day in the life. And then the other 2 visits are field trips. Yeah. And if the student says, hey, I do want to go to trade school, I want to go to HVAC school or plumbing school, we actually walk them through the process of getting enrolled. Yeah. And then we do a signing. We actually do a signing day,
Really? Because that's what everyone does now, right? With sports. So that's awesome. That is amazing. So how did you build out your curriculum over those eight visits? Like, what made you think of, what do you talk about? Maybe just give us a quick outline. You don't have to get too deep into it.
Yeah. So again, it goes back to our heart behind why. Obviously, yes, we love the trades and we want students to get involved in the trades, but we also want them to learn about what it means to be a good citizen, to serve your community, to have your own values as far as why are you doing the things that you do. Of course, like Brian said, day in the life. So we talk about this is what a typical day of a technician in these different industries look like. We also don't only talk about HVAC. We introduce them to this is kind of what plumbing would look like. This is what roofing would look like. This is electrical. This is welding, construction, because we want them to know, like, even if you don't get into HVAC, there are all these different avenues. We also talk about earning potential, and then the pathway to get into, if you're looking to ownership, there's a pathway to ownership as well. So those are the things that we kind of cover.
That's outstanding, because I think, I'm older than you guys are, but, growing up, the trades was always like, oh, it's that fallback option, right? Yeah. And it's treated not in a fair manner. And no one understands the earning potential, right? Especially now, really? It's incredible. And then I love that you add the component of ownership, because most people go, well, what do you do? Am I a technician my whole life? Well, it could be. There's nothing wrong with that, but there are other opportunities. So what you guys do, I think that's incredible. And it sounds like it's making an impact already. You said you've got 2 young people working for you that are doing it. You've had success with a bunch of others. That's wonderful. Bless you guys for making that effort. Now, I guess,
Sorry, one more thing. I would say where we would love for all of CertainPath in your network to know is that we would love to have other industry partners, because we can't hire them all. We can't train them all. We can't mentor them all. But I know that there are so many people that are passionate about what they do in CertainPath, that are roofers and HVAC owners and plumbers, electricians all across the country. And we are telling these students, what you do here in Texas, you can do it in California. You can do it in New Zealand. You can do it in China. There's opportunity everywhere. And so we're exposing them to, that there's opportunity everywhere. And we would love for them to, have the opportunity to interview other owners and other people in the trade so that they can really kind of experience their passions as well. Yeah. Not just HVAC, but all the trades.
Sure. And to Janal's point, we didn't start NGTF to hire everybody, but we did start it to get them hired, right? Yeah. So we do need partners that help hire the students that we're, sending through trade school, and the industry needs it, right? The average age of a tradesman is 55, right? Yeah. And they're not being replaced. When they retire, they're not being replaced at the rate that they're retiring. Yeah. So we need them as our industry needs them. We need the help. We need the workforce. We need the labor, but also our community needs it, because when the supply goes away, when the demand goes up and the supply goes down, the price follows upwards, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a big benefit for all of us.